For a generation of Americans, you need only mention this date, June 6th, and they will tell you, D-Day, the day in 1944 that the liberation of Europe began as U.S. and Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy. It is there that we end the broadcast with Anthony Mason's story of an American soldier who risked his life to save another.
As the anniversary of the D-Day invasion was marked again in Normandy.
Here we are, 67 years later.
89-year-old Ted Morgan of Edgartown, Massachusetts, returned to a bridge he hadn't seen since 1944.
And a shell hit just below where I was and buried me, literally.
Was that when Clancy said you were dead?
Yeah.
Ted and Daryl Pinky Pinkston were medics with the 82nd Airborne. When they jumped that June 6th, their job was to secure the La Fière Bridge and keep the Germans from moving reinforcements to the beaches.
The resistance was really horrible because we were confronted with the German tanks.
During the brutal battle, Ted was caring for a wounded American soldier.
He was wounded along the side of the road.
When a German tank came towards them.
He kept saying, "Get out of here, Morgan, they're going to kill us. Get out of here, they're going to kill us."
But you stayed.
I stayed.
Why?
Well, I don't know. I felt it was my job to administer first aid, and no way could I have ever lived with myself if I ever left him in a ditch bleeding.
But the German tank passed them by. That wounded soldier survived. Ted Morgan earned the Bronze Star and the Purple Heart here in Normandy. He made 4 combat jumps during the war, which is even more remarkable when you consider this.
When I was a kid, I was afraid of height.
But he wanted to see action, so he signed up for jump school. A friend named Pete Vincent told him, "You'll never make it."
I didn't sleep very much, but that statement I was going to show Pete Vincent, above all, that I could make it. And I did.
At home on Martha's Vineyard, Ted still plays golf every day and organizes the 4th of July parade every year. He spent 30 years as a town selectman, but is most proud of his wife Florence, their 6 children, 7 grandchildren, and 8 great-grandchildren.
Okay. This is amazing, isn't it?
In Normandy, farmers showed Ted and Pinky a D-Day parachute and old plasma bottles used by American medics
I'll be darned.
that had been found in the fields.
Boy, this takes you back to World War II, doesn't it? I'm telling you.
Fewer and fewer veterans survive who can tell the story of D-Day.
It's very important for the children.
Ted Morgan, who turns 90 in September, knows he may not get the chance to come back to Normandy. And he's not sure why he waited till now to return.
It's just been great. And the people.
You needed to be here in some way.
I needed to be here.
Here, the young Ted Morgan, who conquered his fear of heights, made his greatest jump of all.
But we'll never forget the bridge, and we'll never forget the river, and what happened here.
Anthony Mason, CBS News, Normandy.
Oh, God. Hundreds of litters.
Ted Morgan told us that the man whose life he saved by the road was Charlie Lieberth, and after the war, Lieberth lived in Pennsylvania. He died about 7 years ago. And that is the CBS Evening News for tonight. I'm Scott Pelley. For all of us at CBS News all around the world, good night.
The world-class original